Steve Jobs was a contentious character, but he had a great charisma, a great passion, and he really brought people along with him. Everybody I talked to for my book explained how at first they'd get kind of put off by Steve's personality, but after a while they'd say, I'd never give up the chance of working with him. It's because he had a clear vision, a passion for perfection, and that passion for perfection made him pretty strong-willed. When I first met Steve, he recited the Here's to the Misfits, the Rebels, the Round Pegs in the Square Hole, that Think Different ad. And by the end, there was tears in his eyes. I thought, well, maybe he's gotten something in his eye. And then he said, you'll have to forgive me. I get very passionate, very emotional when something is beautiful to me. And I think that
It seems that cyber attacks are on the rise. Apple Inc. said in a statement today that their computers have been hacked by the same hackers who targeted Facebook. Facebook revealed that the hackers were traced to China and had infiltrated its employees' laptops. So user information was compromised, but it still begs the question, who is really doing this?
Well, I'm not sure what an offensive cyber attack from the United States is, but I mean it's a tough issue because of encryption issues and everything else. I don't know. You know, with Facebook being attacked, I'm a veteran, and so the VA has been compromised several times, and so who knows what my information is out there floating around on the internet. But I'm not sure what the fix is for it. I don't know.
Yeah, because, I mean, I sort of do this. I'm actually really curious as to what's going on. I think what Obama's talking about and what's going on with Iran might be a separate thing, because what I'm seeing with Apple and And all the other Twitter hacks, too, seems more like a corporate attack, and it's not so much government, although they're pretty much the same. But it is really curious because there's definitely a tie. There was the whole thing that happened with Java, and all of these are from a Java hole. And then Twitter had the breach a couple weeks ago, and as you see the last couple days, all the corporate attacks they're having where they're switching the icons. And it's almost as a joke, but it's as if somebody's just letting us all know that we have a way to get into all these accounts, and what the master plan is going to be very curious.
Well, I'm always concerned about cybersecurity, and even as a Mac user, I do exercise some caution with my network here at the house, and I applaud Apple for quickly putting a fix out there. The bottom line is that you have two different kinds of attacks going on. You have script kiddies out there who are doing this for kicks, and you have governments doing it who are doing it for offensive reasons or espionage reasons. I tend to think that these attacks on the corporations are either script kiddies or they're government doing test runs. And I'm not a conspiracy theory kind of guy, but that's my take on it.
Now, the Islamic State may have committed genocide.
This week at the Internet Cafe, the hacker culture. Are they demons or saviors? Would you trust your files to this man? What is the cult of the dead cow? And why don't these guys use their real names? Plus free software, a cyber blast of 4 megabytes of cool stuff if you've got a TV modem. Hackers tonight at the Internet Cafe.
The Internet Cafe is made possible in part by Intel. One idea always leads to another. Now there are connected CD-ROMs that link rich multimedia with related information on the Internet. For connected CD-ROMs, it's the Intel Pentium processor.
Hi, and welcome to the Internet Cafe. I'm Stuart Chaffee. I'd like to meet my friends Jane and Andrew. And we're here at a cyber cafe in San Francisco called CoffeeNet, and we're talking about hackers tonight. We're going to meet some hackers tonight, and it's kind of timely because we just read that some hackers got into the CIA's website. So it makes you really wonder if it's easy to break into and alter the homepage that's run by the Central Intelligence Agency. How safe is your company's website, your personal website, personal information that's out there on the net, your credit card, and that kind of stuff? It's kind of scary.
It really is. And, you know, it was interesting for me when we were going to all the websites and looking at all the things, especially that CIA website, is really trying to get an understanding of what's making these guys tick. Why are they doing what they're doing? I mean, is it really about a political agenda and freedom of information, or are these guys just having fun?
Right.
I'm also excited because we're going to talk not only to hackers, but to corporate security network experts. And these are guys who spend their days trying to keep hackers out of their networks. And we're going to look at some of the tools that they have developed to catch hackers, and also see how hackers may be using those same tools themselves to get into systems.
And sometimes the same guy is a hacker and he's a corporate security consultant at the same time. All right, we in fact are going to meet some of the most notorious, infamous hackers in the world tonight, and we're going to visit some very weird websites where the hackers hang out.
We're here with Dan Farmer, who is a corporate network security expert and has been a consultant for many large computer companies. And we're going to talk a little bit about what network security means. I'm just curious how you got started in the security business.
Well, back in '89, which is kind of like the Stone Ages on the internet.
A long time ago. Long time ago. In your teens, I take it.
Not quite. I wish it were. But I was actually finishing up school. I was kind of programming and going to school half-time. And I was 1 credit short of graduation, so I took a summer class and wrote a program called COPS.
Now, did you finish school? I have to ask.
I finished school. Yes,
okay,
I got
good.
my bachelor's,
Made your
my old
parents
piece of
proud.
paper.
Great.
And
what did COPS do?
Well, COPS was a security audit program. It basically diagnosed a Unix computer and told you what was wrong or right about the system.
Great.
And I gave it away, attracted some interest in industry and government, and got a call from CERT, which is the Computer Emergency Response Team, to get a job out in Carnegie Mellon.
Now, is CERT a government agency?
No, CERT was a federally funded research company.
Okay.
And essentially they would get government money, but they were free to do research or whatever they wanted with. They were actually part of a larger organization called the Software Engineering Institute.
Okay, great. So tell me kind of what the average day would be like for a corporate network security person.
Well, you know, I don't really know what an average day is.
What would be an exciting day? A day that would just really get your blood flowing?
Well, there's good days and bad days.
Okay.
And a bad day might be that you get a page or a phone call at 3 a.m. and someone says that someone just broken into our main corporate computers, and what are you going to do about it? Save the day, and then you have to scramble around trying to track down intruders.
Great. Now, what do you usually use to track down intruders? Are there software tools that you're using, or?
Well, it's kind of like this little combat you have with the enemy, so to speak, and you use the same kind of tools that they're using to try to track them down while they're trying, a little cat and mouse game, while they're trying to run away from you, you're trying to chase them. Sometimes vice versa. If you're trying to sneak up on them, sometimes they turn on you and attack you, but usually, since you know the computers better, you have hopefully a better knowledge of your systems. You can kick them off or try to get them out.
Last year, you were involved in releasing a software program on the internet called Satan. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Well, Satan was an acronym. It's a security administrator tool for analyzing networks.
Okay.
And kind of like the name sounds, it was a tool that you could point at points on the network, machines on the network, anywhere in the world actually, from wherever you were, and you could analyze the security of the systems, and it could tell you if they were vulnerable, if they could be broken into, with a very easy-to-use graphical interface.
Great. Now, I understand there was a lot of controversy about this because you released it free on the internet, so it wasn't just available for network folks, it was also available, I guess, for hackers as well.
That's right. My co-author, Vitsa Venema, and myself are both very big on education and giving information about security to people. Part of the problems we had with a lot of the security world is that people like to keep tight to their chest all the secrets, because they think if you know about some way of breaking the system, they'll be in trouble.
Right.
But we thought that the tool would actually help out people because they could then know how to defend themselves. And as it turned out, with all the press and the furor and everything, people actually focused on security and tightened up their systems, and I would hope used the tool for good use.
So you didn't hear of any hackers that used it to get into,
yeah, almost none at all. There was so much hype before. I think everyone was so afraid that they all fixed their machines before that.
Right. That's good. Now, what about that hype? It seems like there was a little bit of an unorthodox way that you released this program.
Well,
I mean, first the name, Satan. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with any product, the name is 2/3 of what the value of the product is.
Right.
And we wanted to have something. We were a little afraid that if we released it, that people and we didn't tell people about it, that people would then blame us for kind of sneaking this hacker tool in the net. And it's not like we planned all the hype. I mean, you can't orchestrate this kind of media machine.
Right, but you did issue a warning in advance, is that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
But it was just, you know, a general net posting saying, look, we're doing this, we're releasing this tool, this is what it does, you know, fairly clear language. We didn't try to incite people, but I don't know, I started getting some press from some of the major newspapers, getting on the front page, and all this television started descending on me, and I could barely move without getting hitting a camera, and so. But I think overall the thing was actually a very positive thing, because all the press was a positive thing.
Great.
Because it allowed people to, again, get more awareness of the whole subject.
What's the next program that you're working on?
Well, it's kind of a technical thing, but essentially it's a way of managing or devising a policy structure for large-scale networks on Unix systems.
And what kind of
An Apple security flaw has iPhone and Mac users hitting the panic button tonight. A bug has made its way into some products, potentially putting your private information in someone else's hands. Now, if you have an iOS device or a Mac computer, you are vulnerable. This bug spans across all platforms. Developers say it started out small, which means it got through the company's defenses.
It was as simple as a copy-paste. There are two lines back-to-back, go to fail, go to fail. The first one closed a loop, the second actually skipped to the next routine.
Large vendors like Apple and Microsoft and so forth, they're thought to be infallible. I mean, they